Good morning. Thank you for coming today. What a glorious day to be honoring our veterans in this way. I'd like to thank the 145th Army National Guard for playing music today for us. Thank you all. It was wonderful. Truly appreciate it. We're here to dedicate this memorial to the recipients of the Medal of Honor. The highest honor that a military personnel could receive for their valor and their duty to keeping us all safe and living in the country that we love. I would like for everybody to stand so we can have the presentation of the colors, and then we will have the national anthem. Thank you. We'll have the presentation of the colors. Please remain standing until we have the singing of the national anthem. I'd like to invite Ashley, if you would come forward, please.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes stand by stars through the perilous fight? O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
want to thank the Tinker Air Force Base Color Guard for presenting the colors this morning. And the raising of our great banner was done by the Douglas High School Junior ROTC. We want to thank all of them for participating today. I would like to welcome Fernando Fernandez, Lieutenant with the Oklahoma City Police Department, and the Deacon of St. James Catholic Church to deliver our innovation, incubation. Well, you know what I'm trying to say.
Thank you very much. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. As a Mexican American, born in Oklahoma City, and born and raised here in the Riverside District, and then be able to come back to serve my community, not only to serve, but to be here on this day, on Veterans Day, where we honor our men and women who have served in our military. Thank all our city leaders, state leaders, and all the distinguished guests that are here from our military. Thank you for being here. Let's bow our head, please. Oh God, today we honor our veterans, worthy men and women who gave their best when they were called to serve and protect their country. Veterans like Manuel Perez Jr., who made the ultimate sacrifice for his country. We pray that you will bless them for their unselfish service and the continual struggles to preserve our freedom, our safety, our country's heritage for all. We ask that you bless them abundantly for the hardships they faced, for the sacrifices they made, for their many different contributions to America's victory over tyranny and oppression. Bless our men and women who are currently serving in the military. Bless and protect their families while they're away serving our country. We respect all veterans who have served. We honor them. We are proud of them, and we thank them. Lord, we pray that you will watch over these special people and bless them with your peace and mercy. Through our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Appreciate that. Without further ado, I want to bring forward our mayor of the great city of Oklahoma City. Thank you.
Well, thank you. First of all, I want to mention that I'm wearing my Oklahoma City Police Department jacket this morning in honor of an officer who was shot overnight. Fortunately, the his vest stopped the bullet, but we are reminded, and he's okay, he's at home, but we are reminded that he was willing to give his life for his community, much like Manuel Perez and the many veterans that we honor today. It is true that ribbon cuttings are much more fun than groundbreakings, and there are a lot more of you here than we had for the groundbreaking, which seems like just a few months ago, but probably was years ago. I don't know. Time has moved strangely this year. It is such an incredible honor to be here, and I know you all feel the same, as we have this opportunity to recognize our veterans with something very material, something very lasting here in Oklahoma City, which is very fitting. This is a very patriotic city. The presence of Tinker Air Force Base and our connections to Fort Sill and so many military conflicts through the years makes Oklahoma City especially appreciative of the people in the armed forces. And I'm so excited that we have this memorial now. There are others in town, but we can never have enough. And I'm so glad that we have this now in existence as a remembrance of that appreciation. I would like to take a moment to appreciate those in attendance today who have served our country. And so, if you are a veteran of the American Armed Forces, would you please stand as you are able, and we would like to give you a hearty round of applause. We also have family members of Medal of Honor recipients, and I would ask them to stand so that we may also show them our gratitude. And we have a few dignitaries I want to mention real quick. We'll hear from some of them, and I won't mention them, but those who do not have speaking roles include former Councilman Pete White, who was very much a champion of this project. Pete, please stand again. I saw you stand as a veteran, but please stand again as Pete White. Another champion that, and maybe others will mention her, I suspect, but when I stood here and put a shovel into the ground and turned some dirt a few months ago, I stood next to Mary Sosa, who I know was another champion, side by side with Pete. She couldn't be here today, obviously. We lost her a few weeks ago. But yes, let's show our gratitude to Mary. Senator Kay Floyd is here with us. Thank you so much. Yes, please stand, Kay. Go ahead. And then, of course, our councilwoman here at the City of Oklahoma City, obviously very involved in any project here in the city, and this park is no exception. Please welcome Councilwoman Nikki Nice. Let me finally say, obviously, we honor all veterans. We honor one by name, however, today, and that's Manuel Perez, and I'm so grateful that we have that opportunity to make that connection even stronger. There are things named after him in Chicago, but he was born here. And we needed to honor that fully. I know we've had the name here in the city, but now it is a special, special place. And it really is a great new amenity for this community here in the area, which is obviously predominantly Latino. And they will have the opportunity to see, this heroism in the person of a Mexican American who was born here in Oklahoma City. And I hope that is as meaningful to them as it is to us in the years ahead. So thank you all for being here so very much. Thank you to all who have served our country, and you have Oklahoma City's deepest and undying gratitude. Thank you all.
Always follow the mayor. I have to bring it down 4 feet to be able to talk again. Thank you, Mayor Holt. We really appreciate that. We want to continue to lead the state in honoring our veterans. As the mayor pointed out, our heart and soul is with the armed forces, no matter where you served or when you served. I'd like to bring up our next speaker to make sure I keep my part here. I think be remiss if I didn't talk about the Friends of Manuel Perez and all the work that they did in not only maintaining his old park, but being a part of the new park. And as Mayor Holt pointed out, we lost one of those in David Fuentes. He was one of those balls of fire, and I'm sure that his good friend Ray Madrid will have even more to say about what a fine man Mr. Fuentes was, and how driven he was to memorialize Manuel Perez. Ray, would you like to come forward?
Distinguished guests, veterans, ladies and gentlemen, family and friends. It is a great honor. My name is Ray Madrid. I'm a retired Air Force and Vietnam veteran, and also the chairperson for the veterans who came up with the idea of bringing the park here. It's an honor to be here and to do the things that we needed to do to remember our veterans. In a few minutes, I would like to explain to you or tell you a little bit about Manuel Perez Jr., who gave his life to this great country of ours, and also the members of our community that came together to ensure that this military hero accomplishments were remembered and recognized by our city and our community. The event is truly a testament of several civic-minded individuals coming together over a span of 2 decades to make a change in the community. Later on in today's ceremony, we will be reading the names of several Oklahomans who received the Medal of Honor, but I want to talk to you about one particular person, one who we are celebrating today for his historic efforts during World War II, Private First Class Manuel Perez. A Mexican-American born in Oklahoma City on March 3rd, 1923, Perez was a private in the United States Army and a paratrooper, and received the country's highest military decoration for his section in the Battle of Luzon in the Philippines. I would like to share with you a little bit of his story and some history of 1945. As you all know, World War II was a trying time for our country. Private First Class Perez was the lead scout for Company A, 511th Parachute Infantry, 11th Airborne Division, and on February 13th, as the 11th Airborne Division approached Fort William McKinley, which was located just south of the capital, Manila, they encountered a strong enemy fortified sector. The area was composed of cement blockhouses armed with 50 caliber machine guns, which defended the entrance to the fort. Upon the realization that these stations were withholding the advance of his division, Perez took upon himself to charge the fort, blasting them with grenades, destroying 11 of the 12 pillboxes in a strong fortified sector, defending the approach to the enemy held fort, William McKinley on Luzon, Philippine Island. Single-handedly, he killed 18 of the enemy in neutralizing the position that held up the advance of his entire company. Through his courageous determination and heroic disregard of great danger, Private First Class Perez made it possible the success advance of the unit towards a valuable objective and provided a lasting inspiration for his comrades. However, no less than a month later, Private Perez was on the road to Santo Tomas in southern Luzon, and was killed by a sniper. Manuel Perez is buried with full honors at the Fair Lawn Cemetery here in Oklahoma City. In addition to the Medal of Honor and the Purple Heart, Manuel was awarded the American Campaign Medal, the Asian Pacific Campaign Medal, and the World War II Victory Medal. You can see why many of us in Oklahoma City wanted to see this man's life celebrated and honored. For many decades, members of the American GI Forum, a national Hispanic veterans organization, came together in South Oklahoma City to support other veterans of World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. There were 2 chapters here in the city and served all branches of the military. These organizations work very hard to build community and recognize the good people who are doing great things in this country. They truly helped keep the memory and achievement of Manuel Perez alive. With the help of Father Luis Scagnelli from Little Flower Church, Catholic Church, and several community leaders, a park was erected in Manuel Perez honor. However, the park became in disrepair, and the flag that honored our fellow Oklahoman and hometown hero was stolen. Soon, a group of individuals, many who were active with the American GI Forum and the League of United Latin American Citizens, LULAC, came together to revitalize the park in conjunction with the city and the Capitol Hill Civic Organization. This group became known as the Amigos de Manuel Perez Jr. Park, or as known as the Friends of Manuel Perez Park. A small committee was established to raise funds to buy the plaque that was stolen and to beautify the park. The committee consisted of individuals like David Puente, Mary Sosa, Esther Quintero, Mary Gelder, and myself. At this time, I would like to recognize these individuals, two in particular who, with persistence, determination, and dedication to this park wouldn't be possible. David Puente and Mary Sosa, who are no longer with us. I remember David Puente wanted to do great things with the park, replacing the plaque and beautifying it. We wanted to see if the city would incorporate the park into the MEPS 3 project. We were told they couldn't. Then, with the help of the Oklahoma City Councilman Pete White, it came to mind to relocate the park. Then, working with the Capitol Hill Civic Group, another committee was formed to relocate the park with the help of the City Council and Parks and Recreation Department. Unfortunately, Mary Sosa and David Quincy are no longer with us and were two of the most active members of the group from the very beginning and fought to ensure Manuel Perez Park was revitalized and remained in the South Side community. Mary passed away last month, but her daughters are here, who is a member of the, one of them is of Elvira Suman, who is a member of the armed forces with us today. The family of Mary Sosa, would you stand to be recognized? I know this has been a tough year for you and your family, but please know that your mother was a true advocate, and so many of us were blessed to have known her. Another friend who was really the instigator of all this was David Quincy, who passed away in 2018. David worked many years as a federal prison guard, and he too advocated for a number of issues and programs, particularly in South Oklahoma City and throughout Oklahoma City. Members of the David family, if you're here, please stand up and be recognized. Like Manuel Perez, there is a sense of fight and the urgency in the community leaders to make something happen, and I think we owe it all to involved in this, and I would like to give them a great applause. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
I think of him often, as I do Mary. David, Mary had even a higher level of respect for Parks and Recreation because Mary spent most of her adult life working for the Oklahoma City Parks Department. So she knew the insides and could help make this park a reality as well. I want to introduce an advocate for this side of the city and a member of our state legislature. Would Senator Michael Brooks come forward, please?
Good morning. It is an honor to be here with you all today in my hometown of South Oklahoma City. First, I want to personally say thank you to all of our veterans who are in the audience and to those who have passed. You have sacrificed so much, and so have your families. You truly represent the best of what Oklahoma has to offer, and we are fortunate to have you representing our state. My grandfather was a World War II veteran serving in the Navy on the USS Massachusetts. His name was Frank Jimenez, and he was a great hero of mine. My grandpa taught me so much about the importance of hard work, serving others, having a strong sense of faith, loving your family, and building our community. One of the early community organizations for Latinos who served in the United States military was the American GI Forum. As Ray mentioned before, this organization focused on veterans issues, education, and civil rights. Both of my grandparents were members, and many members of my wife's family were members of the organization as well. This organization's motto was, and continues to be, Education is our freedom, and freedom should be everybody's business. And for many years, the members of the members of the local chapter of the GI Forum in South Oklahoma City made education their business. They helped carry on the memory of Manuel Perez and awarded thousands of dollars in college scholarships for Oklahoma students to continue their education. Both my wife and I were honored to receive scholarships from the local South Oklahoma City chapter of the GI Forum. The members of this organization and their families represented all branches of the military and so many different wartime eras. They worked hard to help raise money for these college scholarships. They were always doing a fundraiser. They were always selling menudo. They were selling tamales on weekends or hosting dances for New Year's or for Valentine's Day. There was always something going on at the American GI Forum, especially when they had their location on Southwestern Avenue. We spent many Saturday nights there dancing to good music and enjoying some amazing food. For decades, the GI Forum provided a gathering space for the community to celebrate events, our students, and our strong sense of pride and culture. I know this park dedicated to Manuel Perez Jr. and his bravery will help build on that sense of community and Latino pride that our parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents held so dear. I wish they could be here to see this dedication today, but I know that they are all saying, job well done.
Thank you, Senator Brooks. We appreciate that. I'd like to bring forward, I better explain this first. This park is actually shared by two council people. This memorial is actually in Ward 7, and I truly appreciate Miss Nice being here, and she actually helped participate in the final chapter of the designs, and was her motion and City Council Member Todd Stone's motion that passed it to make it a reality. Councilmember Stone has asked to speak today. He actually participated with the Friends of Manuel Perez in the initial phases of the design, and I'd like to have Councilmember Stone come forward.
Thank you, Doug. I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of those early phases of when we were trying to envision what this could possibly look like. Basically, at the time, we had a plaque and a plot of dirt. But the Friends of Manuel Perez Park were instrumental in reaching out to the surrounding communities. We talk about Mary Sosa. I wish she was here today to see this because I know how proud she would be. But I can tell you when we had the open streets over here on Robinson, I'm walking down the street, everyone's having a great time. I look over, there's Mary Sosa running from group to group to group, trying to get people to fill out the survey so that the local people can tell us what they expect to get out of this park. That was so instrumental. David Puente, he was the driving force originally behind this thing. And thank you to my predecessor, Councilman Pete White, for helping us get this secured over here. So it started out with a dirt and a plaque, and the vision of the Friends of this park, of Doug and his group, Oklahoma City Parks, led it really to what we see today, which is just, I think, phenomenal. So I want to thank all of you that have served, all of you that are still serving. God bless America. Thank you.
You know, on a day like Veterans Day, with its solemn beginnings, it's evolved into a celebration of service that really makes this occasion, this place, this event so much more significant. And I really do want to double down on what was mentioned earlier today by the mayor during his comments that we do want to thank all the veterans that are out there from all the services. And I just want to say, as one who's still serving, is that we still need you. We still need you to connect with the next generation of Americans who are going to serve their country. We still need to tell them about your experiences and the positive things that have come of that, and the story of your service that's going to inspire that next generation. So you're not off the hook. We still need you. Thank you. Thank you for your service. I'm from Fort Sill in southwest Oklahoma, And I went to an event shortly after arriving there a couple years ago, and Congressman Tom Cole was there, and as he addressed the group, he got up there and he said, "Hey, it's Southwest Oklahoma. We don't need any introductions. Everybody knows everybody." And I think that's kind of the case here too, from what I've noticed. I'm a little bit of a disadvantage that I don't know anybody, but in the time that I've been here, I've run across some old friends. Kevin Ophel, our civilian aide to the Secretary of the Army, and others, the ATAG, and I've made a lot of friends in a short period of time. And so to the distinguished people, the prominent people in the front, I want to say thank you for your service to the city, our state, our communities, and for everything that the people who have been recognized who have done to make this event come about. My name is John Rafferty. I'm an American soldier. Let me take advantage of a few minutes at the beginning of this to tell you why I serve. Simply put, I serve because I'm inspired. I'm inspired by my own family's tradition of service. I'm inspired by the soldiers that I work with and serve with and have gotten to know over the last 30 years. And I serve because of our clients, the American people, and the idea of America. So I grew up in an Army family. My father's a retired Army officer and a Vietnam veteran. And so my upbringing was on Army posts and in the D.C. suburbs for the most part. And I always thought that I would be in the Army. And my uncle and cousins also served in the Army and other services, and some served in Vietnam as well. My brother-in-law, my sister's husband, is an Army Reserve surgeon who has multiple deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan, taking care of our soldiers and sailors and airmen, Marines on the front lines. And I'm, I was drawn to serve in the Rangers by the story of my father's first cousin, who was really more like an uncle to him, as his considerably older, was the commander of Company A in 2nd Ranger Battalion, who was killed in action on Omaha Beach in Normandy, France, on D-Day in 1944. And over the course of my service in the Rangers, I had the chance to meet those he served with in Company A, his friends, his Rangers. And so I serve because I'm inspired by my family's tradition of service. And then over 30 years, from private to brigadier general, I feel like I've gotten to know a lot of soldiers, a lot of Marines, sailors, and even some Coast Guardsmen and some airmen. And I know what they're made of. And I know for every PFC Manuel Perez, there's 100 others who would do what it took to win on that day. And I know that they're in our ranks now because I know them well. Because in the Army, we put people first. We invest in them. We give them tough, realistic training. We take care of their families. We instill in them a winning spirit. And then they fight like hell to accomplish any mission that we put in front of them. And that's why I know that we should thank God that there were men like Manuel Perez, but they're in our ranks now, men and women in our ranks now, who do exactly what it took on that day in battles today and in the future. So I serve because I'm inspired by our soldiers. And then I'm inspired by the idea of America. In our country, that we're judged by the content of our character, and not by the color of our skin or our religion, and that each one of us is given the opportunity to pursue our potential. And that's why we fight, is for that idea. And so I'm inspired by that. I'm inspired by the fact that so many people got together to bring this memorial to life, so that we could draw strength from it, so that we would be reminded that every day we all have to fight to preserve this idea of America. And so I serve because I'm inspired, and I want to thank you, the American people, for providing that inspiration. You know, the Medal of Honor is a pretty. I think that train was actually going by our hotel all night last night. I'm surprised it's still here. The Medal of Honor is nothing really short of extraordinary, and in every way, it's steeped in symbolism. You can see some of it here. So the 13 stars for the original colonies, but the light blue color that is represented in each one of the three different versions of the Medal of Honor, one for the Army, one for the Navy Marine Corps, and one for the Air Force. But that light blue color represents valor. It is the traditional color of valor. On the decoration, you'll see an eagle, obviously the symbol of our country. You'll see a profile of the goddess Minerva, who is the goddess of wisdom and war. And then you also see the wreaths of laurel leaves that symbolize victory. So the medal itself is steeped in tradition, and its origin was not without controversy. When it was proposed by members of Congress, the commander-in-chief, as he was called, of the Army at the time, Winfield Scott, declined to take up the consideration of recognizing soldiers for valor. It wasn't in the American tradition to do that. But over the course of the beginnings of the Civil War, it was thought to be a good idea to recognize valor's awards, valor's acts, and so over the course of 1861 to 1862 or 3, it was finally put into law for the Navy and the Army to award the Medal of Honor. Since the Civil War, its criteria has evolved over time. At first, it was our only valorous award, and over time, it has evolved to become our highest military decoration, and the one that's held in the highest regard, not just by those in uniform, but by all Americans. And its current present-day criteria, I'll just read it because it's so inspiring. That the recipient must have distinguished himself conspicuously by gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty. Distinguished himself conspicuously by gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty. That means when the stakes are the highest, when it's all on the line, he or she is willing to do whatever it takes to win. Since the Civil War, over 3,526 Medals of Honor have been awarded. 600 of them have been awarded posthumously, and we recognize one of those here today. It has not always been the current tradition, but over the last 30 years, the Medal of Honor has generally been presented by the Commander-in-Chief, the President, in ceremonies at the White House. I had the opportunity to attend a Medal of Honor ceremony in 2017 at the White House, and it was an electric and riveting experience to be in the presence of a living Medal of Honor recipient, and to be honest, I feel that sort of electricity here today because we all have brought to life their memory and their service and sacrifice. Of those 3,500, about 1,500 were awarded during the Civil War. 472 during World War II, 262 from Vietnam, about 25 from the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. There are 69 living recipients. The first one was PFC Jacob Parrott, who was from the Ohio Volunteers, who penetrated 200 miles behind enemy lines to destroy a railroad target in Georgia in 1862. Our most recent recipient is Sergeant Major Thomas Payne from Army Special Operations Command, who led a hostage rescue in Iraq. He just received the award in September of this year. And recently, the White House has announced they're going to award the Medal of Honor to Sergeant First Class Alwyn Carter, who was killed in action in Iraq, saving the life of his soldiers. These descriptions and the stories of every other soldier, sailor, airman, or Marine in between are extraordinary examples of gallantry and intrepidity above and beyond the call of duty. They aren't trivia. They're our history. They tell the story of our country. And that's why this type of memorial is so significant, that we can draw strength from the sacrifice and the service of others, and it tells the story of our country. And it's up to us to live up to their service and sacrifice. So thank you for this opportunity. God bless you. Army strong.
Thank you, General Rafferty. We appreciate the fact that you brought your wife with you this weekend, and great place to shop. So come back Christmas time. It's not often that as a Parks and Rec guy that you get to introduce so many distinguished people in one day. It's one thing to have a active duty brigadier general participating in a ribbon cutting or an opening of a facility, but our next guest, Miss Rita Aragon, was not only a major general in the Air Force, but she's also been our secretary here in Oklahoma as well. So I'd like to bring forth Miss Aragon, please.
Good morning. What a nice, lovely November morning to come to a beautiful place to recognize people that I love more than all of God's other children, and that is those who have served in the United States military. For all the folks out there that have served, thank you so much. I see you coming with the motorcycle group. You honor us. We thank you for being here. Mayor, thank you for your leadership. To all of the men and women of city government, thank you for your diligent work in bringing this to come by. It's good to see you, Councilwoman Nice. It's great to have the honor of having families here whose family member has paid the ultimate sacrifice. Oklahoma is an extremely patriotic place. Of just a little over 3.5 million people, we have over 359,000 veterans in this state. That means 1 in 10 has served. We have over 18,000 active duty National Guard reservists and civil service employees that take on the mantle of the freedom of this nation. We believe in our hearts and our souls that it's important that we defend the way of life that we hold so dear. Today it is my honor to get to announce the names of those from Oklahoma who have received the highest military honor, and that is the Medal of Honor. For years it was referred to as the Congressional Medal of Honor, and that's because Congress has to sign off on it. It is presented by the President, but it is a group honor of saying these men, so far there's been no woman, but we're holding out hope, these men have given a full measure of what they have been asked to give. I will introduce the names and the conflicts that they served in, and we have some of the family members here, and we will take time to recognize those family members. From the Indian Wars, Amos Chapman. Are the Chapman family here? From the Philippine-American War, Joseph L. Epps. From World War I, George P. Hayes. Samuel N. Sampler. Harold L. Turner. From World War II, I had the great honor and pleasure of meeting some of these gentlemen before they passed away. It is a great honor to recognize some of their families today. Kenneth D. Bailey. Charles F. Carey Jr. A great Choctaw warrior, Ernest Childers. John R. Cruz. Ernest E. Evans. Donald J. Gott. Today we are honored to have the family members of Roy W. Harmon in attendance. George D. Keithley. Richard M. McCool Jr. Troy A. McGill. Jack C. Montgomery, whom the VA Medical Center is named for in southeast Oklahoma. Manuel Perez Jr. Reuben Rivers. Henry Shower. Albert E. Schwab. William R. Shockley. John L. Smith. Leon R. Vance Jr. Herman C. Wallace. From the Korean War, Tony K. Burris. Raymond Harvey. Frederick F. Henry. From the Vietnam War, we are honored to have the family members of Benny G. Atkins. Melvin Morris. Larry S. Pierce. We are honored to have the family members of Riley L. Pitts. Donald P. Sloat. These great warriors defended America's freedom and provided a way of life for all of us who are here today. God bless the United States of America and every man and woman who served her.
Thank you, Secretary Aragon. Appreciate your comments and your words and the reading of the names. Would veterans Jorge Rubero and Armando Rubero and Tech Sergeant Elvira Sumlin please step forward to present the wreath? Everybody look up, we have a flyover by a drone. We actually, again, active duty naval personnel were going to do a flyover, and we were honored that they would respect us enough to attempt to schedule that for us, but they got other assigned duties, active duty personnel, so they were called away from today's event. I want to again thank the Friends of Manuel Perez Park and all the work that you all did in helping guide the design that you see here today. I want to thank the planning design group. We've got representatives from the people that actually drew the park here. If you would stand, those of you that are with the planning design, thank you for your efforts. We have a lot of great design firms in Oklahoma City, but these guys stood up and really listened to these individuals. When they spoke, they heard, and the results are what was in their minds is on the ground today. And to carry that work forward, we're truly honored to have the McNatt construction company, if representatives of McNack Construction, who actually put this together for us. Are you here today? Back over on the corner over here. Thank you, gentlemen. We truly appreciate your efforts as well. I'd be remiss if I didn't honor my own parents today. They both served in World War II, and if they hadn't found each other overseas serving in World War II, I wouldn't be standing before you today. So I want to honor their memory and their service to our country. It's always a great day to be able to open a new park or acknowledge the existence of a new park or new elements within the park. It's been a great week for the city council members and the mayor and myself for this past week. In Miss Nikki Nice's ward, we celebrated the groundbreaking of a new recreation center named for another great leader of our community, Willa D. Johnson. We had the groundbreaking for the next phase of our great downtown park, Scissortail Park, in this past week, and we're grateful for those opportunities. And then culminating these great events is the honoring of not only Veterans Day on Veterans Day, but honoring those people that went before us, that served and did it gallantly for our country. Again, thank you for coming out today. Thank you, Lord, for giving us a great day to do this event. Just think a week ago we were encased in ice. So I want to thank you all. I want to thank the motorcycle riders that are here today, the Honor Guard. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for bringing the knowledge of our great country via the roadway. And I want to thank all the veterans that are here today, the active duty. I especially want to thank the Junior ROTC organization. They are our future, not only as young people, but possibly as our military people as well. So again, this concludes our day. We thank you all for being here. We truly appreciate all of you participating. Thank you.